Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your reading. It is a sneak peek for this week. How are you doing? Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. I am doing this reading once a week, so if you've never been here before, this is the spiel. I'm doing this reading once a week, either on a Monday or a Tuesday. Lately, it's been coming out on a Tuesday or early on a Wednesday morning, but you will get this on a Tuesday today. And thank you for showing up here. I do appreciate you. I've got 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from all of those decks. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes on each sign of the Zodiac. I'm going to mark everything down below in the description, and so you can just scroll this video to find what you need in terms of the energies you're looking for. I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. You don't really know what's going on. I mean, you have maybe a very shallow view of what's going on, but you already know what your personality is, and that's what your sun sign is. So please take the time to go find a free natal chart anywhere. Even if you don't have your exact time of birth, if you can estimate whether you were born in the AM or the PM, you can get yourself a rising sign as well. So I hope you'll do that. It all makes more sense when you come back here and you watch for all three signs. And the only other thing I have to tell you is about private readings. So if you're interested in a private reading, my friend, I do have them open right now. You can get a pre-recorded private reading with me, but you can also get online with me live. So if you'd like to do that, that's where all of the sales are at this time. Anywhere from 5% to 75% off your calls. You'll just simply get a discount for booking in advance. And you can find all of that information that I'm telling you. You can find it in the pinned comment right under the video. There's a link for HIPSY. You can take a look at the pricing if you'd like to. And just remember that when you're doing a live call with me, it's as many questions as I can answer for you. Rapid fire in the phone call. Well, we're having a lot of fun because I'm having a lot of fun doing that. But if you'd still like a pre-recorded reading, please do book one of those, and please pay attention to the turnaround times. All right, let's get to it. Let's find out what is going on for you, Aries. Let's figure it out. My fire family, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I hope you had an amazing weekend. I sure did. All right, here we go. Tell me about Aries, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter, what's coming up in the next 7 days. The sneak peek for the week. So whenever you get this, Aries, today, tomorrow, next year, in the next 7 days, could be resonating for you. Tell me about Aries, please. We've got the Ace of Cups. So it looks like there is the beginning or the opening of a new cycle here. And it could have to do with love or emotions or being emotionally open with someone. We've got the bigger here. We've got the World card. We've got the Ten of Wands, and we've got the Judgment card. So I feel as though you are. This is being offered to you this week. Some of you will take this door, some of you will not, some of you are just not ready. We're not all at the same place in our lives right now, right? So it's not going to be for everyone. But the World card is telling me that you're wrapping up a chapter in your life, or there's a door that you're closing here, an energetic door. It feels like there's something here that you finally accomplished or achieved, and that you are making some sort of a big change in your life. So when the World card shows up, it's because there's a big shift or the closing of an old chapter of your life, and you're moving forward into something new. It could be a chapter in love, because we are looking, of course, at the Ace of Cups. But it feels like the reason that you've been so slow at closing this door, Aries, this is fixed energy, right? Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, who move very, very slow toward a goal. And I feel like the reason that you have been really slow at this is because there's been a really hard decision to make here. I feel like this is something that if you were given a choice, you would not close the chapter, but I think that the universe is kind of saying, look, there's nothing left here. It's time for this door to close. But I feel like the Ten of Wands is telling me that you're closing a door to a chapter that was burning you out. I feel like you were really burnt out in this particular chapter, maybe because it was going so slow. It might have been a chapter where you were learning lessons and you were learning them slowly. And that could be why you're feeling quite exhausted or weighed down with the last chapter here. But the Judgment card tells me that you're about to be reborn, my friend. You're about to have some sort of rebirth here, and you're going on a new path. It feels like you're passing through this doorway, and it's time for you to head out to a brand new chapter that I feel is going to be far more emotionally fulfilling than the chapter that you have that you were dealing with in the past. Look at that. You're already in transition. So you might be saying, okay, what's the big deal, Elsie? How do I know when the door is closed? Well, it's usually at the ending of something. You sold a house, you moved away from that part of the city or that state or that province, or you moved across the world, or it's something major. It's not something small. So it's the ending of a relationship and the beginning of your new life after that, or something like that. The Six of Swords tells me that right now, as we drop these cards, that you are actually in the transition. So you are going from a place that was maybe very confusing or maybe chaotic for you. You're going from choppy waters here to the smoother waters. So it feels like whatever it is probably emotional. I'm talking about the waters being smooth. And then the Ace of Cups is here. We have the Three of Swords. So it does feel like there is a little bit of a worry about embarking on something new, a new chapter in your life. Looking at the 6 and the 3, which is 9. But the Three of Swords tells me that the door you're closing here might have been to an old emotional chapter, an old relationship. Maybe it was a marriage, something like that. It feels like whatever happened in this chapter was something that was irrecoverable. There's no way we're going to recover it. It broke my heart, and now I just need to move forward from here. But look, I feel like you are repairing already because you're already in the flow here. And we have the Ten of Pentacles. Look, you're going to find that as you are reborn into this new chapter of your life here, it's like turning the corner, and all of a sudden you're in a new neighborhood. It feels like it is going to be a very abundant chapter for you. It feels like it's going to be, this is your legacy. The reason you had to make this change, the reason you had to close the door, is to prepare for the last leg, it feels like, of your journey here. Like into your next journey is coming, but I feel like this is like the last part of your life. Maybe it's the last half of your life, but it feels like it's going to be permanent change that you're making here. And so the Ten of Pentacles tells me that you are feeling in good health. Your wealth is good. You're feeling stable, and it is just time to move forward here. You're going to hear some sounds in the background. I have the windows open. It's a beautiful day, so you're going to hear some traffic on the front street now and again. All right, so we've got the King of Wands here. There's your energy. You are motivated and inspired to move forward through this new door, but it does not come without its sadness and regret. I feel like if you had your druthers, as my grandmother would say, you would rather not leave this time of your life behind, but it feels like it is time to do that. Maybe you feel like, okay, well, so I did some things wrong. Yeah, you did. We all do. But it feels like it's now, you're into the blue, my friend. It's time for you to go. You're looking, now you can go accomplish and conquer and crush all the things that you wanted to do in the future. And I feel like this is going to dissipate this grief that you're dealing with after having lost a chapter in your life that I feel like you closed the door on reluctantly here. But I feel like you are making this big change. And for some of you, it'll happen in the next 7 days. And for some of you, it might not happen for months yet because we're not all in the same space, right? Got the Fool. So I feel like when this door closes here, it's like the universe puts their foot on your butt and pushes you off the edge here. I feel like you are excited, but I want to say that you're just jumping in eyes closed is what it feels like. You're like, I've got to do it. I've got to I got to shake off all of this Five of Cups energy. I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want to feel any regret. So I'm trying to inspire myself to move into the future with no regrets. And so I feel like the Fool is the one who possibly might be foolish. Look, at the beginning of every chapter that we begin in our lives, whether it's a new job or a new relationship or whatever is brand new, we're learning it. And so we're going to stumble. We're going to fall. And I feel like you are no longer worried about how you look if you stumble or if you fall. Tell me, what is the outcome, please, for Aries? We've got the Lovers. We've got the Knight of Swords. and we've got the Two of Cups. Look, you're racing towards something really beautiful. So some soulmate connections possibly. And the Knight of Swords tells me you're moving forward with gusto, with excitement, with like you're charging into it here. You're looking for bonds. Like I feel like you're now free of whatever the door was closing on here, and you're free to make bonds with whoever you want. So whether those are romantic bonds or platonic bonds, new friends, soulmates, you're out there to find your supernova is what it is. Like, you know, when a star collapses on itself, it explodes, right? And all the particles get scattered. I feel like you're going to gather all of those scattered particles. So I think this is your supernova. I think your chapter has imploded upon itself and it has scattered. And I think now you've decided that you're just going to start from the beginning. Tell me what is around the corner for Aries, please. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, we've got the Eight of Wands, and we've got the Page of Cups. And I think you're ready for adventure. The Fool in the reverse and the Page of Cups is telling me you're ready for adventure. You're ready for excitement. You're ready just to jump in, and you don't care if you skin your knees. You're feeling inspired to live in your fire. But the King of Wands also has wisdom. So I don't think you're making any crazy moves here. I think that these are all very deliberate, this is very planned for sure. But the Eight of Wands tells me things now start to move smoother or move in the right direction. The Eight of Wands is actually pointing at the Ace of Pentacles. So it's telling me that it's a brand new chapter for you. It's time to plant the new pentacle because this escalates quickly. This happiness for you, good health, good wealth, friendship, family, it all escalates quickly. From the Ace, it goes to the 10 pretty fast. Right now, you might be in this energy. You might be in the energy of the Eight of Swords and the Five of Wands, arguing with yourself, fighting with yourself. I think that you're sort of in this bargaining stage. It almost seems like a stage of grief. Like you're in this bargaining stage of, I'm kind of exhausted, but there was nothing else I could do. My hands were tied. There was nothing else that I could do in the situation. All I could do from there was learn. It's like all you could do was watch and learn, and then you finally grew from the Page to the King, and you had to finally say something, right? And begin the cutting process. And the cutting process is a hard process. So we have Aries. We have Sagittarius energy, we have Cancer, we have Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. We have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got Virgo and Pisces, more Gemini. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Cancer energy, Gemini energy for you. Something is about to happen pretty quick, and I think it's probably for some of you in the next 7 days that you are moving into a new chapter of your life, a brand new one, planting a new pentacle. All right, Taurus, thank you so much for all the ways you're loving on me, man. Thanks for doing that. Here we are with your sneak peek for the week, Taurus. My bull gang, let's find out what's going on for you the next 7 days for Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. Taurus, we've got the Two of Pentacles. It feels like you will be juggling a few things this week, possibly. Let's find out what else is going on. Stable, but juggling nonetheless. We've got the Page of Cups. We've got the King of Pentacles, and we've got the Three of Pentacles. Taurus, it feels like there is a lot. It's going to be a busy week for you, it feels like. Maybe a busy social week because we've got the Three of Pentacles here. Three of Pentacles is buildings of friendships, right? Building a foundation. I'm learning to trust you. You're learning to trust me. It feels like for a while there that maybe you were left out in the cold, but I think, the 5 are here, but also 1 and 6 is here. So it feels like now you're ready for reciprocal energy. It feels, I'm going to say for you this week that you're going to be juggling a lot of social things or friendships or something like that. And these are people of value to you. I feel like you have come to this place in your life where you're sitting on the throne, you've got your wisdom, you've decided that, I'm going to be very selective with who I give my pentacles to, is what it feels like. You're going to be very selective with that, and it feels as though you're finding a group of people who work with you, right? People you can look up to, or people who look up to you. It feels like you're building new foundations here. And so I feel like in the midst of all of the things that are going on in your life this week, it does feel like you might be getting some good news or some sort of surprise that has to do with your finances for some of you. It feels like the good news is coming in about your finances. Money might start flowing a little easier. You might pay off a loan, or you'll have that extra money coming in. It feels like for some of you it could be, I don't know, maybe it's a scratch ticket, you win $20, but it feels like it's going to be like Pentacles are very practical, very deliberate, right? They're very I'm making these choices on purpose, so they're very intentional. So I feel like it's something that you've been intentional with. So it's possibly maybe you realized you put more money on the water bill last month than you and then it comes to you and it's a very low bill. It feels like you've got a little bit more cash in your pocket. Tell me more about the Two of Pentacles, please, for Taurus. We've got the Empress. Well, that's why you're juggling, because I feel like you're in the Empress energy, and the Empress is, of course, somebody who is, has got the finger in all the pies, right? The Empress is all of the queens, all of the wisdom, also somebody who is sort of in a higher end level in their life vibrationally. So you would be somebody, the Empress is the ultimate multitasker, right? Because she is the Queen of Pentacles, who is the overgiver. She's the Queen of Cups, who is like the empathic, kind, and compassionate person, possibly a mother or a father, right? And the Empress can be feminine or masculine. It feels like this week is going to be a week of stability, security. It feels like you're going to be very confident in how you're juggling things this week. So if you do have to juggle a lot of things and multitask, I feel like you're successful in all of those things. It feels a lot like growth this week for you. So I feel like you're going to be busy with whatever life brings you. It could be your work. It could be friendships, family, social gatherings. We've got the Knight of Swords. And so I feel like you're dealing with your week here in sort of a no frills kind of way, I'm going to say. The Knight of Swords tells me that you are on the move. You're on the move mentally, also making a lot of conversation, talking to people. It feels like you have a lot to do or a lot to accomplish this week. We've got the Page of Swords. We've got the Queen of Swords, and we've got the Hermit energy. So it feels as though that maybe you've gone through a bit of a downtime. Maybe you've had, the weekend off and you've been able to recalibrate, I'm going to say. But it feels as though now you're on this path of clarity, and you are in this Page of Swords energy. You're eager, you're ready to learn. You're curious about what the week is going to bring, and I feel like the Queen of Swords is pretty much ready for anything. I'm going to say make sure that your boundaries are good, and it feels like you're protecting your energy is what it feels like. The Queen of Swords is here to protect the energy that you have over the weekend. I think that you were doing like a power up possibly, and the Queen of Swords is here to protect that energy with boundaries. We do have the Eight of Swords energy. So there is something this week that I feel that you were trying to work out possibly over the weekend, but it feels like you're going to come to some sort of a place this week where you find your answer, because the Virgo energy is here, Hermit energy with the Eight of Swords, and the Queen is here with her sword to sort of cut away the Eight of Swords. We've got 8, 9, 10. You're letting go of something this week, or releasing something that was heavy on your mind. Something that maybe was hurtful or heartbreaking, possibly. Something that maybe didn't make you feel good. You're finally moving out of the Ten of Swords, so no more pain. And I feel like you've gone through this healing here. So I feel like you're going to be good this week. We have the Knight of Cups. Why is that? We have the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Star. Look, I feel like a very stable romantic connection is about to approach, if they haven't approached already. But it feels like it's somebody that you have manifested. We'll just leave that right there. Let's take a look at the outcome here. Take a look at the outcome for Taurus. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. We've got the Two of Swords. And we've got the King of Wands in the reverse. So it does feel like there are some taxing decisions that you have to make this week. They might have to do with the home front for you, and it feels as though this Two of Swords here is it feels to me that you're going slow, but there is some sort of decision-making process that has to happen here. I'm going to say feel it out. Don't believe what you see, but feel it out and go slow. The King of Wands is in the reverse, so it's a little more thinking things over before they take action. And I feel like you're not really motivated to make this decision or these decisions. It could be multiple decisions, but look, you're going to be in a lot of energy that is multitasking energy this week. So you're going to have to make, I think, decisions on the fly. Four of Wands in the reverse. It could mean that you're not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time at home this week. You're probably going to be out doing things. Tell me what's around the corner. For Taurus, we've got the Four of Swords. So interesting, because I was looking at 2, 3, and 4. We got 4 swords here, and then the 4 swords showed up here. So you, by the week's end here, you're going to have stability of the mind, emotional stability here. We've got the 7 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. You're very determined to get your to-do list done, is what it feels like. You're very determined for people not to bother you. Like, get out of my way. Like when Taurus has something to do, you just put your head down, get your horns up, and you keep moving, right? I feel like you have healed enough or rested enough. You feel rested probably at the earliest part of this week, and it feels like you're very stable and secure, but it looks like you're very confident that you're going to be able to get your things done without too much involvement from people around the external part of your life, like outside of you, right? The 7 of Wands tells me I've got good boundaries, and I'm feeling pretty confident that I can make things move forward quickly. And we got the 10 of Swords. I kind of like it. We counted up those 10 swords, and it feels like you are releasing something in order to create something else this week, Taurus. And it feels like you are in the energy to do it because the Empress is standing strong. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Aquarius. We've got, I noticed just now that we have the Queen and the King of Pentacles. Look, you could be meeting somebody who is really very much on your vibe. And it doesn't have to be this week. It could be ahead of that. But nonetheless, there's something coming up that you've manifested. I feel like someone is coming in to your life here. But only after you let something go. And we've got Taurus energy. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got Virgo. We've got Taurus and Libra, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo energies. All right. Here we go, Gemini, for you. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini in the next 7 days, please. Sneak peek for this week for Gemini. Gemini, we have the 6 of Swords. So you are having a week of movement, or you're moving on from something, or you're in transition here from one place to another. We've got the 4 of Wands, got the Ace of Swords, and we've got the Devil energy here. It feels like you're coming to some sort of realization that it's time to move on from something. There is something or someone who I feel has been codependent with you, or that you feel like you just can't get rid of the attachment. This is the week where that happens. Because the Ace of Swords is here, and I feel like you're wielding the sword here, and you're cutting yourself away from something, someone, or situation, maybe a task at your workplace. It feels like you are finally moving forward from there and cutting yourself away from whatever the devil energy is. It could be fear about something, fear about communication, or having conversation about the 4 of Wands. It feels like I'm looking at this as sort of house and home, the 4 of Wands. It is sort of an exciting, stable, exciting place to be. Like, I think that you love to be home, but it feels like there has to be some sort of conversation with someone, something, or about a situation, or you need to cut yourself free from the devil energy. It might even be worry. But we have the 6 of Swords. It feels like you have movement this week, or you're in transition, possibly, from one thing to another. Tell me what this 6 of Swords is. Oh, we got the Tower. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. And we've got the 2 of Pentacles. So it feels like you're moving on to make some type of decision here. It's a decision that I feel like you couldn't make a decision about something, but you are on the way to making that decision. It feels like the reason that you couldn't make it is because you were still carrying around old things or old attachments. Possibly some fear, like I said, with the devil being here. But it feels like the Ace of Swords shows up and gives you great clarity. The Tower also is here. So the Ace of Swords and the Tower tells me that something is shifting in your mindset. You've changed your mind about something, and now you see the potential and the creative potential of beginning something new. I think that you are building a new foundation. Building a new foundation could mean it could be a mental game for you. It could be that you've shifted your mindset or changed your mind about something, and now you're moving on from it. You're like, yeah, I'll just let it go. I'm not even going to let that thing worry me anymore. It feels like that sort of energy. You're finally just starting to break free from something, and it might have to be something that has to do with your house, your home, or your family. It could very well be. Tell me more about this here. We've got the Two of Pentacles tells me you ultimately land in balance, even though you've been juggling a lot of things. There could be a lot of conversations. It could be a lot of things that you don't want to deal with, that aggravate you, that are hanging on to you for dear life, and you're trying to maybe get these tasks done, but they just won't let go. I feel like you're well on your way to transition. There is going to be some sort of a big shift this week, and it's going to feel good. Like it's going to feel like the shift I feel that's coming is very grounding. So I don't think it's something that you really have to be terrified of. It feels like it has to do with money, but it feels like it has to do with you being grounded in your, it's like time, energy, money. It feels like you've been expending a lot of your energy, and it feels like it has been to build some sort of foundation. But I feel like once you're done with the very beginning of the foundation, now you can relax just a little bit and move on from it here. We've got the Page of Swords. We've got the Two of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you've put a lot of work into something here, and you've made a lot of decisions. It looks like previous to this week, it was a lot of decision making, or this week could be a lot of decision making for you. But I think that it's almost like you felt paralyzed for a little bit. You felt like you were paralyzed, that you couldn't make the decisions because you didn't want to make the wrong decision. You were overthinking it, Gemini. It's just not like you to overthink, right? Sarcasm, right? The Page of Swords is here. So I feel like you face this week now with being a little more curious, being a little more open. You're observing more than you're speaking. It feels like you are now taking action and putting in a lot of the hard work after building the foundation. It feels like you can rest a little bit, that it feels like you built the foundation, and now the Eight of Pentacles almost takes care of itself for a little bit, because all you're doing is sitting back and making the decisions, taking action to make decisions, and then someone else is coming in to do the work, it feels like here. We've got the Three of Cups. So this is going to be a much easier week than you've had previously. I feel like I feel like last week was probably a hard week of really things that were sort of coming up that were frustrating or aggravating, it feels like. But then the Tower comes in to clear your path, right? It clears all the obstacles and shows you how hard you've worked is finally coming to fruition. You see the value in everything that you did back there. The Three of Cups tells me this week is a week to celebrate, because someone else is coming in to do all the heavy lifting. And I feel like you just need to make some phone calls, or you need to tell people what to do, what action to take. I think you're the decision maker this week. You're the one with the plans. You're the one that's prepared. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. And we've got the Eight of Wands. Yeah, this all tells me that you were sitting on the throne trying to get it all together, because the Queen of Pentacles is the planner, right? Is the one who's planning into the future. So it feels to me like sort of all the pieces were in the air. Two of Pentacles, all the pieces were in the air, and as they all start to come to the ground, you're catching them all one by one, putting all the puzzle pieces and where they go. And then when whoever shows up to do all the heavy lifting, it brings the Wheel of Fortune. It brings you into the new cycle. There's a new cycle here. Something is changing. We've got this that's telling me there's a shift, and this is telling me that something is changing. It feels like there was a cog in the wheel, like there was like a stick in the cog, like a cog in the stick in the wheel. I'm looking at a wagon wheel on the side of one of those old wagons from the old Wild West, and it looks like there was something stuck. And I feel like it's becoming unstuck because you've got all of the pieces together now, and it feels like now things can move forward in a very smooth way here. You've collected all of the pieces, got them all in one place, and it's time now to see how they formulate a plan. Tell me what's around the corner, please, for Gemini. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Seven of Swords, and we've got the Five of Wands. So it does feel like what's around the corner is it feels like you're going to be sifting through memories of some sort. And I think that some of these memories are hard for you to sift through. The Six of Cups is here, which is nostalgia with the Five of Wands. Feels like you're going to be thinking about things of old or feeling very nostalgic this week. The this particular Seven of Swords tells me it might be old books, old things. Maybe you're cleaning out the basement. Maybe you're having a yard sale. It feels like there are things that are under the surface, and this person's covering their face. They don't want to be seen. So it almost feels like it's going to be a very sort of emotional week for you, nostalgia-wise, and it feels like there's something here that you're fighting. You're fighting some sort of nostalgia here this week, and you're trying to let something go or things go. It feels like there's a nostalgic pain almost. You know you've got to let the memories go, but it's hard for you to let the memories go. I think the Wheel of Fortune is going to help because change is here and so is destiny. So I feel like it's almost as though the universe knows you're going through this hard time in your life nostalgically, maybe thinking of things from the past that didn't work out for you or things that you're mourning. I would say, but this is also bringing in a distraction. I'm going to say something is going to go really good for you that's bringing in a distraction, Gemini, and is going to get you working. Two of Pentacles. It's going to get you putting in the work on something so you can stabilize your energy. We've got Aquarius energy. We've got some Cancer energy, Virgo. We've got Capricorn, Scorpio, more Scorpio. We've got Sagittarius, Aries energy. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarius. I would say Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got enough air energy there. I think you'll be up in your head this week, my friend, trying to make preparations for whatever is going on in your life. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. What's coming up in the next 7 days for Cancer? Sneak peek for this week for my water friends. Tell me about Cancer. This week is going to be a stable week. It feels like it's going to be stability. So it's like you go into work and, oh, okay, finally those papers are back. Now I can get the rest of the work done. Like it feels like things are going to be stabilizing in your week this week. For some of you, it could be financially. This is time, energy, money, health. So it feels like something is stabilizing. You feel better. You feel healthier. You feel clearer of the mind. You feel like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't have to pay that bill this month. Like it feels like there is some stability coming in this week, and it feels like it's in all parts of your life, not just one part here. We do have the World card. Somebody here is paying off a mortgage, paying off their last car payment. It feels like the World card here is I'm finally closing the door on this really big financial investment that I made. So it feels like there is something that is coming to a close. It feels like the last payment on something. So that might be why you feel like there's more stability in your finances. You might be making the last mortgage payment or the last car payment. Paying something off. Yeah, you're paying something off. You're releasing something here is what it looks like. We've got the Lovers too. And so we've got the Ten of Pentacles. It's bringing you more energy, time, money, whatever it is here, that you're finally closing the door on something. So it feels like closing the door on a contract, whether that's a life contract or a financial contract. It feels like the Ten of Swords is telling me it was painful to get to this point, but I'm finally going to be able to release it. It feels like this is a choice, but it also feels like you're almost going to be celebrating with someone. It feels like that we've done this together. We've accomplished this as a family, or we've accomplished this, and now we now have the rest of our lives to look at. So now we have far more energy, money, time on our hands. We have far more abundance coming into our life because of this chapter that we've closed here. And it does feel like for some of you, it could be a financial chapter, but also you could have got the clean bill of health. Maybe you've been fighting something in terms of your health. Maybe you've been, trying to balance something in your metabolic system. I feel like you're going to see the achievement or the value in whatever you've been doing methodically. Queen of Pentacles, whatever you've been doing, whatever method you've been applying, is that you're about to see that it's working here. We've got the Chariot. We've got the Temperance card, and we've got the Five of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Five of Wands. Now, whenever I see more than one five in a reading, it's because something is about to change quickly. It does feel like you are healing the self, though. Like I'm showing you here as the Queen of Pentacles, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, which is also very interesting because you know you guys always hound you like you're stubborn like a Taurus, right? You're like the earth sign of the water signs. So it feels like there's something here that you're healing. There's a moment of alchemy that's showing up where everything is finally balanced. Maybe it's your blood sugar. Maybe it's your finances. It feels like something is being healed, and now you've got stability, balance, right? We've got this Chariot energy, and usually the Chariot is depicted as someone who's keeping balance while things are moving really quickly. So I feel like things are about to move really quickly. You're about to get some sort of a victory or some sort of a success. It could be an emotional success because that is your energy. That's Cancer. But it feels like with this Five of Swords here, that you've been fighting this. It feels like, so if it is money, it's like maybe you hadn't been working as much and then you decided to go and do all the overtime. It feels like you've been fighting it or having arguments within the self is what it feels like. All of that is about to stable out this week because something is changing really quickly. It feels like either you were dealing with like the negative reel we all have in our head, that you might have been dealing with that, but also some indecision. And I feel like Temperance comes and clears that all up. It feels like something comes into balance this week. Tell me more about Cancer. We've got the Nine. Oh, I like that. The Nine of Wands is in the reverse here, Cancer. Look, with the Ten of Wands being here, it feels like you are, that you were feeling burnt out. It feels like you were feeling burnt out, feeling like I just don't have any more energy to put toward this. And I think that at the last minute, it feels like the Temperance comes in and heals everything. The Four of Swords is here. Maybe you just weren't feeling good. Maybe you had a cold. Maybe you just didn't have as much energy. We did just go through a full moon, so and we're approaching a new moon soon. So maybe you're just in the transition, right? You could be in the in between. But it feels like here with the Ten of Wands that you've been dragging around something that was heavy, and I feel like it was probably emotionally or mentally that you were dragging around that was really heavy. The Ten of Wands in the upright tells me that you're finally ready to release that. The Nine of Wands in the reverse is really good energy because that is, I'm not going to feel bad about that anymore. I'm not putting any more energy into it. I'm tired of having to be the one that feels resilient. It could be about moving away from some sort of feeling of emotion. Maybe you broke it off with somebody. Maybe someone broke up with you. It feels like we're moving on from the Two of Cups, from some sort of bond here. Yeah, there's a permanent ending here. Death is here. So it feels like, and it might have been a rejection. So either you rejected somebody or somebody rejected you, but it feels like there is a healing process that you're going through after finally releasing, letting go. Like we've got letting go, we've got releasing, we've got healing, we've got I'm not going to feel bad about it anymore. I'm not going to let it terrorize me anymore. One more card. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. It took you a long time to get here. And so I think that your healing was slow. I feel like making the decision to finally leave an old cycle behind was a slow going decision for you. But I feel like you are in this healing energy this week. Tell me what the outcome is, please. We've got the Emperor. I like it. Look at this. The Emperor, the Page of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. So it does feel like you are getting control this week. You're pulling in all of your energy. You're getting control. I feel like something is going to surprise you this week, and I feel like it's something that is the Five of Pentacles related. So it does feel like it's emotional. It feels like it's an emotional thing. It's almost like you're finally releasing things, letting things go, and then all of a sudden I feel like, oh yeah, I remembered that I was hurt by that. I let it go. So it almost is like you're backtracking a little bit. I feel like it's because you're feeling the distance from whatever has ended, whatever the end of that thing came. But I feel like you are in this Emperor energy. I'm going to say whatever it was taught you a lesson or two, because you are showing up as the Emperor here, whether you're feminine or masculine. And the Emperor is the one who keeps control or doesn't let anyone else see that there is anything going on underneath the surface. Tell me what's around the corner. We've got the Knight of Swords. We've got the Three of Cups, and we've got the Knight of Cups. So I feel like this is a week of celebration, being with friends, going out, being social. It feels like there's going to be a lot of witty banter going on. We've got the Knight of Swords here, so it feels like you are going to be meeting with people, talking with people. Three of Swords is coming together with people that you know and like, and I think it's people that really fill your heart space. It feels like you're coming out of a really hard cycle or a chapter in your life. You're having a major switch up. It's like you've closed the door on something here, and it was a decision you made to let it go and to finally to choose yourself, to choose healing, really. We do have the Seven of Cups in the reverse, and this is the lesson. Looks like you were going through a lesson here. Seven of Cups in the reverse is, I finally have the answer. Now I have clarity. And so this Page of Swords is also telling me that you are learning something new about the situation that allowed you to finally let all of this go. I think what was causing the problem is we've got the Six of Cups in the reverse. It feels like you were stuck in nostalgia, so stuck in memories. I feel like you're finally releasing yourself from that. You're finally letting go and getting some sort of an emotional victory coming up this week in the next 7 days. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. Aquarius, we've got some Cancer energy here. We've got again, Sagittarius energy. We've got Gemini. We've got more Cancer energy. We also have the Aries energy. And so Scorpio. All right. Let's find out what's going on with you, Leo. I think this is the last reading I'm going to be doing for you in Leo season. So thank you for the beautiful season. Thank you for the sunshine. Always appreciate when your season comes around, Leo. And although it was a little bit wild, I think we got through it, right? Let's find out what's going on for you, Leo. Happy birthday, friends. I hope you had a beautiful season and a beautiful birthday time celebrating yourself. Let's find out what's going on for Leo this week, the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Leo. We've got the Emperor. Oh, I kind of like this. Leo, I've sort of been following you through this energy of you really pulling yourself out of a dark place or a dark space. And it doesn't feel like it was fine. Like for some of you, it could be financially, but it almost feels like it's an emotional or a mental game for you. And it feels like you're on top of your game this week. It feels like you're getting it all together, or you feel really strong, like you're in charge this week. We have the Ten of Pentacles. It could be in money. It could be, because this is what we've been tracking for you, right? Oh, if you go over the Leo reads from the last couple of weeks or so, you'll see that there has been financial fluctuations, there has been emotional things, there has been mental things you've been dealing with, but you're looking really strong. You're standing really strong with the Ten of Pentacles here. That is everything. That's all of your earth energy, which is your health, your wealth, money, energy, time, right? So it feels like you're now in control of all of that this week. Tell me more about Leo. Oh, I like it. Look at this energy. Leo, this is great. This is great. The World card is here. And then we have the Six of Swords. Look, if I had to dig into the deck and pick out my own cards for you, I couldn't have dug them out better. Because this looks really lovely here. It does feel like you finally are going to experiencing some stability, some security. You're now in charge. You feel healthy. You feel good. You feel good financially. And the World card being here tells me finally the shift has come. So it looks like finally you are closing the door on some sort of really tough chapter, and it's time to move forward, which I really love. Moving forward now. It's time to move away from this old chapter here. And it's whatever you learned in this hard chapter that you were in, it took you a really long time to get to the World card, which is the last card in the Major Arcana, which is the closing of the door of the old chapter. It took you a long time to get here. And it's really only because you're a fixed sign. And it takes the fixed signs longer to change their mind, be flexible, make decisions. I think that you were fighting it for a time, and now I think that you're in the flow with the Six of Swords here. It tells me now you're finally out of the chaotic mindset, and you're now finally into the flow and feeling pretty strong, I feel, whether you are the feminine or the masculine. We've got the Knight of Cups, we've got the Three of Cups, and we've got the Tower. So it does feel like there is a major shift that is coming here. Because you finally have decided to close this door and let the old chapter go, it's time for a new beginning, and this brings you into a shift. But the Three of Cups is here with the Tower. So it tells me this is a really good and happy shift for you. It feels like your heart space is softening, or that this is about the heart space. It could be that the way you look at your friend group has shifted. It feels like maybe a change of heart or a change of energy. It feels like a change of your emotions and how you see something. When the shift comes, it's like now you're seeing things from the Emperor's point of view. And you have to agree that if you're the Emperor, you're the boss. And the boss looks at the business very different than the person who just walked in the door and has only been employed for a month. There's a very different perspective here. I feel like you're looking at things from your throne, knowing that you, like this particular Emperor is looking into the past. So it feels like, you welcome this happy shift. It feels like this is a happy shift. Or now you're seeing your soul troop, or the people that you would usually socialize with, you're now seeing them differently because you've had some sort of a shift in your thinking. You've had some type of an awakening, and you've closed the door on the old you or the old ways of life. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, we've got the King of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups. So it feels like, now you are dealing with things in a very different way. You've put in a lot of hard work on something. And I'm going to say that what you've put a lot of hard work in on, Leo, is your emotional intelligence. Look, emotional intelligence is a thing, and not everybody has it. We can see that as we look around the world and people are being inappropriate and, losing their crap on each other, that there isn't a whole lot of emotional intelligence out there. Emotional intelligence is your ability to be able to respond rather than react. You now are in control of yourself. You're keeping things a little more under the surface rather than letting people see you lose your crap on the surface. It feels like this is that you've really been working hard on stabilizing your emotions, is what it feels like. This is all going to bring you to the Ace of Cups. So now that you've learned this lesson, now you've got to go and test it on the world, right? We've got the Two of Wands. So it feels like there was a lot of planning. It feels like you've been stuck at a crossroads where you were learning or putting a lot of hard work into yourself, which has made you the King of Cups, which has made you a person who still is going, look, it's not like once you become the King of Cups, it's not like your problems go away. You just become more stable in the storm is all it is. And so you learn how to plan better. You learn how to keep it under wraps. It feels like there is a new emotional cycle coming up for you, and I think that's because you are the King of Cups now. You're looking at things differently. This could mean that there is new love coming, but it doesn't always. Look, cups are not always about romance, and regardless of what you're learning on the platform, it's not always about romance. I feel like this is a place where you are loving the self. It feels like it's a brand new, calmer cycle that's opening up for you here, because you've mastered something. Because the kings all have mastery, and the Emperor is here. You've mastered a lot of things. It feels like you've been going through a real big growth period here. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Four of Pentacles, we've got the Knight of Wands, and we've got the Nine of Wands. So it feels like you now are, I would say, with the Knight of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, it makes me feel like you are making more stable decisions before you move forward with your bravery and gusto. I don't think that I feel like you without the Four of Pentacles is holding back, but it's also stability, right? Four walls, Four Pentacles. And I feel like although you've decided you're not going to give up the Knight of Wands energy, because I think you love a little bit of instability. You love going after things. It feels like you love the hunt. Maybe you're a hunter. It feels like you love You love the bravery that you need in order to get through life. And I don't think you should ever lose that fire or that spark. But the Nine of Wands is here. And it feels like with the Nine of Wands and the Knight holding a wand here, that it feels like you're learning how to reel in your passion. It's not like you have to stop using your passion or showing your passion. It's just that you need to figure out the appropriate place and time to do it. All right, let's find out what is around the corner for Leo. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Pentacles, and we've got the Five of Swords. I kind of love that because look, I think that you had a negative voice going on in your head, which is probably your own. I also feel that the Five of Pentacles is telling me that, you know, these two cards are both touching the Tower, and that's kind of how I read. That the Tower has come to shift things and break things down. And so there's going to be an immediate or very quick change or a noticeable change from you. When I see more than one five come up in a reading, for me, it's something that's going to change quickly. It is quick change. And so I feel like what is changing is you're emerging in the Nine of Pentacles energy, your pre-Empress energy. So it feels like you are now more stable. You're more calm. You're, like I said, not reacting to things. You're responding to things. It feels like you are more stable financially. You have more stability in your time, your energy. Maybe you're more organized in all of those things. One more card. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and now it's time to begin again. And that's really what it is. It's about going from the Fool to the World card and then ending the chapter, going from the Fool to the World card. So it feels like the Ace of Pentacles tells me you have something on your mind that you would like to begin again. You would like to plant a seed here. We've got 10 pentacles, right? 9 and 1 is 10. So maybe you're out there looking for someone else who might have a pentacle to maybe take you into the future. Feels like you are going to get some attention going into the future. If you decide to follow along with this World card and then open a new chapter, it feels like you get a lot of attention, which I know you love, and you get a lot of attention, victory. Feels like you're finally crossing some sort of an imaginary finish line here, is what it feels like. You are finally going home being yourself. I feel like you're finally where you belong. You feel comfortable in your skin. So we have Aries energy, we have Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. We have some Sagittarius energy, Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and some more Aries energy a couple of times. So it feels like you're ready now to go after something that you've wanted, because now you have the energy and the wisdom to do it. All right, Virgo, here we go. Look, your season's around the corner, right? Just a couple days. We'll be celebrating Virgo. And I think there's going to be a new moon coming up in your sign as well. So we're just going to start it all off right there, leading us into eclipse season, right? Tell me about Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. What is coming up for Virgo? All right. Got a couple that fell out here. Ooh, okay. What fell on the table is the Tower. That's what that is. And then we have the Six of Wands here. What else do we have? We've got the Hierophant energy, and we have the Queen of Swords. We have the Ten of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So a Tower popped out of the deck. It's like, I'm going to say expect the unexpected this week, Virgo. That something is about to change and put a spotlight on you. It feels like you are... It might be a job for some of you. It might be something that contributes to your stability. Like the Hierophant is here and can be corporation, can be institution. It can be a group of things, right? That's like a large corporation of something. So somebody might have somebody who's noticing your talents. The Queen of Swords to me could be the person who is the interviewer. So I feel like if you've been waiting for a job or waiting for them to call you back because you're hoping for another interview, I think this is the week for you. We have the Ten of Pentacles, right? So it does feel like it has to do with home, hearth, money, time, energy. It feels like Ten of Pentacles is a lot of all of that. So tell me why the Tower is here. It feels like there's something here that you're getting the victory in, that you're going to be celebrating. And I think that it took a really long time with the Hierophant energy to appear for you. So it might be that you've been looking for work for a really long time, but it feels as though maybe this Queen of Swords is going to change everything for you by speaking truth and sort of, I think, touching on the things about you that are the best things that they saw in you, which means that you are stable, you are secure, and you move slow. And you are somebody who is nice to look at, right? Virgo, I always say, has these beautiful high cheekbones and long noses. And it's almost a Middle Eastern kind of look. And I love that, particularly those features. And the big eyes. And I feel like somebody is like, oh, maybe you're a model. Maybe that's it. Or maybe someone's going to tell you that they want to take you on. Nonetheless, it does feel like something is taking its time getting to you. And the Tower tells me something is going to shift here for you in the next 7 days. And you're going to hear something from the Queen of Swords, who is Libra. And Libra is bringing balance or harmony into the situation. Tell me about the Tower. Tower is bringing up the Six of Pentacles. I like it. You are going to be shifting into a reciprocal energy with somebody here. They're going to be giving more to you than to someone else. I think you're being chosen here for something. A project maybe at work, or maybe a new job. We've got the Nine of Cups. Oh my goodness. Virgo, this is a good week for you. And then we have the Hanged Man. So look, it's after a time of pause and after a time of the Three of Swords, wondering, wishing, why is everything stuck? Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Why is everything stuck? The Three of Swords is here. My heart is broken. I'm disappointed. Why aren't they calling me back? Whatever you've been waiting for that's been taking a really long time, I think is about to show up in the biggest way. The illusion was they didn't want you. The illusion was you didn't do very well in the interview. The illusion was you weren't the right person for the job. So maybe you're already employed and maybe you were waiting to hear about a project or something like that. But it feels like with this Hanged Man energy here and the Nine of Cups, the Hanged Man energy is perspective, right? It's like I'm trying to find a perspective. I'm in a pause and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And I think the Tower, when it shifts, it brings in the Nine of Cups. It brings in your wish fulfillment. Whatever you've been wishing for is about to show up. The Six of Pentacles being here tells me if that was reciprocal energy you were waiting for, like a callback, or yes, you can have the project, or yes, you've got the funding for the project, or the funding for the business you wanted to build, whatever it is, it feels like it comes in with this Tower energy and shifts you into this place. And I think the Queen of Swords has something to do with that. It feels like the Queen of Swords had something to do with speaking on your behalf, or making the final judgment, or bringing things into harmony here through words. We've got the Five of Swords, we've got the Ten of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. It really feels like somebody here is going to be so relieved, is what it feels like. Something here is showing up for you, and you're able to finally drop some sort of mental burden that you've been carrying on your shoulders for a long while. Five of Swords and Ten of Wands. It feels like it weighed you down. It feels like it was like maybe intrusive thoughts. And you know those things that we go through, right? When maybe we're dating someone and we don't hear back from them right away. The intrusive thought is, oh, maybe I was too much. Oh, maybe they don't want me. Maybe they don't like me. But I feel like it's also the energy of this, the Five of Swords is the energy of maybe, you were fighting with yourself about whether I should just drop this. Should I just drop this? And then all of a sudden the Tower shows up, and you can definitely drop the 10 Wands here. So the Queen of Cups in the reverse tells me it's like an emotional reaction. And I don't think that you're emotionally reacting in front of the Queen of Swords, understand? I feel like it's feel like you finally exhale, or you finally begin to cry, because it's like a happy cry, I'm going to say, because you can finally let down these burdens here. We do have the Ten of Cups. Virgo, you're about to have a banger week here. You're about to have a great, emotionally happy time after you've been carrying around some sort of a mental burden for a while. And that's lovely. Tell me what the outcome is here for Virgo. We've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Lovers, and we've got the Page of Pentacles. They choose you. Look, I was just saying, right? For the new, we've got the Page of Pentacles and the Lovers. Lovers is a choice. something new is materializing here for you. So the Knight of Swords is here. It's coming in swift. So I think if you're the person who's been waiting on good news, them to tell you got it, got the car, got the mortgage, got the house, whatever it is, I feel like that good news, something shifts here. And the Queen of Swords, who is the one who is bringing everything into harmony because they made the right decisions accordingly. So maybe it's the bank manager. It feels like it is going to benefit you, and you are going to be celebrating sometime this week. Tell me what's around the corner, please. Around the corner is the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Empress energy and the King of Swords. I like it. Look, you've been working really super hard on yourself, maybe getting more education. It feels like you've become the subject matter expert on something. So somebody's really impressed with you, who I think is the Queen of Swords. And understand, please, that the Queen of Swords is hard to impress. The King of Swords is here as well. It feels like there's two people here at a workplace, at your workplace, at the bank, really sort of going over details and facts. It feels like you really have grown in some respect, maybe grown your financials. Eight of Pentacles can be that, right? Growing money, growing your skills, growing becoming the subject matter expert. And they see you as someone who is a leader, someone who is solid, someone who is in harmony with themselves, and somebody who really doesn't need anyone to hold their hand. Somebody who can just lead, no problem here. Knight of Pentacles is here. Took you a long time to get there. Two of Pentacles tells me things are about to speed up for you. And things are also about to get very, very busy. You're about to be in demand, my friend. So we have Leo energy. We have Virgo energy. We have Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We have Pisces energy. We have Sagittarius, Taurus, and Libra. Pisces. We've got, I said Libra. We got Taurus here. And Gemini, a couple of Gemini energies, and we also have Scorpio here. This is going to be a really good week for some of you. Love, love, love it. All right, Libra, your reading was pretty damn cool. The last reading I did for you. Something here is on the precipice of getting really good for you here. Let's find out what's going on for Libra in the next 7 days, please. Tell me about Libra. Tell me about Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week. Oh, okay. Am I hearing Libra? I'm hearing Livingston. If you haven't heard Livingston, what are you even doing with your musical knowledge? Livingston, gold digger. And it's not what you expect. Gold digger is about really digging yourself out of the depths. And that's what it feels like this week is about for you. It's like now you finally dug yourself out of a hole. You finally gotten out of the hole. Look at this. We got the Ace of Cups. We've got the Four of Cups, and we've got the Queen of Swords in the reverse. And the Hermit energy. We've got the Seven of Pentacles here. It does feel like there is, you know what? I feel like you this week are going through a week of, you know what? I'm just going to say it. That's what it feels like here with the Queen of Swords. I'm just going to say it. It feels like there is something that you just want to say. Oh, say what you need to say. Who sings that? John Mayer. It feels like there's something that you just need to say. Now, I feel like you are trying to hold back because what you don't want to do is say something wrong, because when the Queen of Swords is in the reverse, the Queen of Swords is not necessarily in balance. There's not necessarily harmony going on, but I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing, because I feel like pendulums always have to swing in our life, right? That if you're a person who never speaks your mind, that first it's all going to swing to the left, you're going to speak your mind too much and maybe offend a few people, and then it's going to swing back to the right and tell it before it comes back to the center. So it almost feels like this is a little bit of I'm going to say that although the Queen of Swords is in the reverse, which means that I'm just going to say it, and I'm not, because the Queen of Swords in the upright is going to watch their words and, make sure that they're only spitting facts. I feel it's almost like with the Hermit here, it feels like you are just going to say it because you finally healed something here. I feel like you were dealing with some sort of an emotional rejection. And I think that that made you hold yourself back a little bit in terms of how you speak about love or how you say things about love. Or maybe it's just your heart space. But it feels like this week you're going to just be speaking your mind about the heart space. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it, and if I get rejected, 4 of Cups, fine, I'll just go into hermit mode. I feel like there's something that you've been working on. Maybe it's the words. Maybe you're worried that you're not going to say the words or that they may not land right. But it feels like the Queen of Swords is finally putting down the boundary and saying, I've just got to say it. And I feel like the Hermit tells me that you will be careful because, look, Virgo is also highly intelligent, same as you, right? This is Libra energy here with the Queen of Swords. And Virgo and Libra are sort of working in tandem here. So it's going to be a softer delivery, but you're not necessarily going to edit yourself as you usually do, is what it feels like. And I don't think it equates to harsh words because we do have the Queen of Swords in the reverse boxed in by the 4 of Cups, which is stability in your emotions. And we have the Hermit energy here. So, you know, speaking in a way that is truthfully spiritual, but also softened because of the water energy that's here. Whew, making me think today. Making me work for my money, huh? Tell me about the Ace of Cups. We've got the 7 of Wands. See, there's the holdback. It feels like you've been holding back from speaking your mind, speaking your heart about something here. It feels like you are somebody who usually holds back or stays behind your boundaries, or usually is like, it's not like you're going to be ineloquent, but it feels like you're finally just going to stand up and say it, is what it feels like. You're just going to stand up and say it. We've got the Empress. And we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like you're just finally going to stand up and say it. You might be saying something to the Empress, but you could be the Empress. I know we go through this all the time, but Libra is also the Empress, right? Libra and Taurus. So you might be the masculine Libra I'm talking to. But also Libra is the masculine energy, but with the Empress having Taurus energy, that's also softer energy, right? That's also feminine energy. So I feel like you're really balanced. I want to say you're really balanced in your energies. You are going to find the courage to stand up and say something as the Empress or to the Empress. Whatever it is, it's going to come from your heart. And so that's why I'm not so worried about the Queen of Swords being in the reverse here, because I think whatever truth you're about to speak, you're about to just spit some facts, but they're going to come from the heart. So I don't think that it's going to be harsh. I think it's going to be about possibly truth about whatever is going on in your heart space. And you've really thought it out because the Hermit energy is here. We have the 9 of Wands. We've got the Devil energy. And we've got the 4 of Swords. So it feels like there is some sort of pain that you still carry as a bit of trauma. It feels like you are exhausted with sharing the heart space because it feels like it's become a fear for you. It feels like you were hurt in the past by someone that, it feels like you had to be resilient after the Ace of Cups. So it feels like the resiliency comes in, maybe someone broke up with you, possibly you just went through a really toxic relationship. It feels like you're finally letting go of some sort of attachment you had, something that held on to you for a really long time. It could be fear, could be a thought pattern, could be that you couldn't make a decision. But look, we've got Libra here again. So look, we've got Libra. We've got you all over it with harmony is what it's telling me. I think that something here is coming into harmony, which is going to allow you to open your heart space again, creak it open, and be very honest about something and say what you need to say. The Sun is in the reverse. And so I feel that with the Sun in the reverse, the Sun is always the Sun. You will have clarity. You will have clarity It's just that the sun here is, when it's in the reverse to me, is the moon. It's like something that you've been hiding is finally coming to the surface. So it feels like you've been hiding feelings or holding back, because that's what you're going to do, Libra. You're always going to think about it first before you say it. You're not the reactor, you're the responder. And so it feels like you are about to bring something to light that you've been maybe hiding, but understand that you must bring to the surface in order to be able to finally release the devil energy. Oh boy. All right, let's find out what's going on in the outcome here. What is the outcome? Queen of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Two of Cups. So there it is. It does feel like what you're worrying about is that there is probably someone here that you're creating a bond with. Now, the Two of Cups isn't overblown love. It is creating a bond. I'm now bonded with somebody, and it feels almost worrisome. And I'm going to say, Libra, what's worrying you about that is that you have connected the Nine of Wands to the Ace of Cups. And so the Nine of Wands is the fear of being hurt again, that I'm just going to have to be resilient. I don't want to have to be in this position where I'm healing from toxicity again. And that's why you're holding back. But I feel like this is the week where you finally stand up for yourself and say something, but it's going to come from the heart. But it's something that you've been thinking about. How do I say it? What are the words, right? You've been in hermit energy. It does feel like you've got a bond with somebody here who could be the Queen of Cups, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. It could be somebody who you are beginning to get deeper feelings for, or feeling very deep for. But this person, I feel, is returning it to you because they're empathic, they're compassionate, they're loving, they're kind. So I feel like your worry is if you speak your heart, that you may get rejected in some way in harsh words. That this person may say, no, I'm not into you. But I don't think that that's the case here, my friend. I feel like that when the sun shows up in the reverse, that you've been hiding it. But I feel like that when you speak to this person, I feel like it is reciprocal, because we have Two Cups here, and you two have had your eyes on each other. I feel like they're attracted to you, you're attracted to them, is what it feels like. Tell me what's coming up around the corner for Libra. We've got the Ten of Wands. I love it. Look. Oh, I love it. So Ten of Wands is the end of the cycle. You can now drop all of these worries. It feels like with the Three of Swords being here and the Ten of Wands, that you're finally deciding, you know what, I'm just going to lay this down right here. That this person, maybe just because someone else treated me with the swords, the Queen of Swords in reverse, it doesn't mean that this person's going to treat me that way. I feel like this is what's been putting you in hesitation. That it feels like you've been waiting and fighting yourself, like holding yourself back from saying what you want to say to somebody. Look, more Libra energy. Look, you've got it here. You've got this. Two of Cups is here. And look at this, the Two of Cups and the King of Cups. The King of Cups in this depiction also has the Two of Cups. So I feel like you have been stoic in how you feel about someone. You've got a lot going on under the surface, and you want to tell someone how you feel, but I feel like you're going to hold back on it just a little bit. Tell me about this here. Yeah, there's the Lovers. You're going to say it. It might have, wow, whoa. The Lovers, the Hierophant, the Emperor. Okay. Well, you know this person is on your vibration. You know this person matches you pretty well. They seem a little bit more fiery. You seem a little bit more harmonious. But this is something that is moving slow, very slow. I feel like it's moving. You need for it to move very slow. And so you're choosing to say something because you want to make it clear. Let's just start with something that moves slow here and let it grow into the King of Cups. Now, I think that we have like an age difference here, possibly. Now, we do have the King and the Queen of Cups. Just say you guys are mirroring each other. Feels like we're mirroring each other, Emperor and Empress, right? On the same emotional and maturity vibration. And here too, we got the same emotional vibration. We are the same in terms of maturities, but it feels like there could be an age difference. I'm just going to say, and I think that maybe is what's got you freaked out for some of you, not saying something right away. You think you might be rejected because of that. All right. We've got Aries, Taurus, Gemini. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, We've got Leo, more Leo energy, Libra, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Virgo. We've got more Libra energy. We've got Virgo energy, Cancer. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy here, Taurus and Libra. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. I think I said that already. And we have more Leo energy. Ooh, my brain was stalling there for a moment. All right. John Mayer, say what you need to say. Let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. I just met a brand new Scorpio over the weekend. He's amazing. And I always love, I collect Scorpios like stamps. I love Scorpios, especially the healed ones. And this one is healed for sure. And so now I have a new one to add to my collection. Let's find out what's going on for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. We've got the Five of Cups, Scorpio. You start the week with possibly feeling a little bit of regret about something here. Four of Wands. Tell me why the Four of Wands is here. We've got the Hierophant. And we've got the King of Wands. Oh, I'm going to say this looks like a warning, Scorpio. If you decide not to take action on bringing stability into your marriage, into your connection, into your commitment, I feel like you could end up quite sad. It does feel like the Lovers is here, which tells me I feel like you are really connected to a person. It does feel like I'm speaking to someone who's married, because the Hierophant is here with the Four of Wands, or someone who is engaged or living with somebody. But it feels like, I feel like the Hierophant is trying to inspire you to use a little bit of your King of Wands energy, so the mature fire energy, to bring something back, to have some sort of reconciliation or bring something back in line. Look at that. It feels like with the Devil energy here that there is some sort of fear or angst or anger. Maybe we're arguing or we're fighting. It feels like the Devil is between you and reconciliation. And so it might be fear. It might be somebody not treating you well. It feels like the universe is asking you to take a shot again using your emotions. There you are, right? The King of Cups, that's your energy. Using your emotions, trying to stay stoic, to take another shot at it. It feels like, and I'm not talking about those of you who've been dealing with a toxic ex. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who's already in a relationship or in a commitment and sees that possibly things have been slowing down, that we have been not really been talking much here. That it feels like there's hesitation. I don't really know if I want this anymore. I feel like this Five of Cups tells me that if you don't get some sort of stability and have a conversation about what's going on here, you could be in regret later on. We've got the Knight of Wands, we've got the Three of Wands, and we've got the Five of Swords. But the thing is I feel like you think that if you bring up the topic of discussion, it could end up in a fight. And it feels like you are in the midst of someone who will do anything to, like, they'll win at any cost. They'll say anything, do anything. Even if they know that it's wrong or they're wrong, they will never admit it. And it feels like this Five of Swords is somebody who wants to win at any cost. So I feel like if you're the person who wants to give this another shot, if you've been feeling that way, then I think that you're really going to have to settle down, sit down, and talk about the commitment you've already got. Maybe you're married, maybe you're living together, maybe you're engaged. But it feels like we've got to talk about the commitment we already have and decide, is there enough passion here and enough stability to be able to carry on with what we've been doing? Because I feel like the Five of Cups is what ensues if you don't finally sit down and talk about it. We have the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands. So it feels like there is something that needs to be done quickly. It feels like this really needs to be talked about this week. You need to have this conversation this week, because it feels like with the Three of Wands, it's like you're looking at the future and you're wondering if there is a future here. And so it feels like if you want there to be a future here within this relationship, then it is time for you to finally sit down and talk about it. The Hierophant is structure. It's moving slowly. It's probably more listening than it is acting, but there is action here with the King of Wands. Wisdom is here. And so I feel like you're supposed to remember that you are a spiritual teacher, or that you're the one who has the intuitive energy. Feel it out first. Tell me what else we need to know about Scorpio. We've got the King of Pentacles. We've got the the Page of Swords. And we've got the Page of Pentacles. For some of you, you could have a couple of children that are hanging in the balance here. It does, though, feel like somebody here is in a committed relationship where we are sort of settled down. We pool our money together. Like, even if you're not married, like, you're acting as though you are. Some people don't really need the certificate in order to be together in a home, raising children. And so it feels like you've settled in with somebody here. It feels like you're the one who is quite stable and secure, or somebody who brings the grounding to the relationship. Because I think that you are somebody who could have an earth presence, even if you don't have an earth placement, that you are somebody who moves slowly, who wants to look at things logically. Can we look at things logically? But I think you're dealing with somebody who's in fire. So someone who's very reactive, and no matter what you say, they're hell-bent on taking it the wrong way. The Page of Swords tells me this is what the learning curve is here. And the Page of Pentacles tells me that we have to, instead of thinking about things, instead of passing each other in the kitchen and not saying anything, we have to sort of materialize it. A decision needs to be made here this week about whether or not you're going to, and I'm saying you because I'm in a Scorpio reading, but I don't know. I don't think that it's all on you, honestly. I feel, though, that you're the one who has the ability to be the King of Cups, though, right? Feminine or masculine, that you're the person who's able to sit on the chair in the sturdiness, even though everything is crazy around you. It feels like you're the one that brings logic into the situation. It does feel like this is almost a last-ditch effort to keep something together. The friendship, the family, Four of Wands is here, the soulmate connection, the marriage, the partnership, whatever it is. It feels like this is the last-ditch effort. I think that somebody betrayed your trust or betrayed you financially, and you're having a hard time getting around that. And it feels like it is so painful that when you bring it up, it ends up in a fight. I feel like this Page of Swords is here trying to help you understand, or reminding you to be flexible in the mind while you're having this conversation. But this may be a last-ditch effort. I feel like you should make one more effort. That's sort of what these cards are saying, before you decide that it's over. But something is about to change quickly, because we've got 2 5s here. When more than 1 5 shows up for me, it's quick change. Tell me what's in the outcome. We've got Temperance. We've got the Fool, and we've got the High Priestess. Yeah, you see, it feels like it's been very quiet. I feel like you are going to take another shot at this. It feels like you're going to try and going to take another shot at this, and try and bring some healing and temperance to the situation. I really do feel like you're dealing with a fire sign, or specifically an Aries, it feels like. Or maybe you have Aries energy, but the Fool is here. And I feel like you are using your intuitive energy, but staying quiet at this time. I feel like you do want to take another shot at this because the Fool is here, but it is going to have to come with temperance. And it's very interesting we're talking about temperance, because I feel like you're dealing with somebody who is in fire and you're in water. So water and fire is what temperance is, right? Trying to find the right healing moment, or the right temperance for the moment, the right temperature for everything. Tell me what's coming up around the corner. We do have the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. The 6 of Pentacles is here with the Queen of Swords. So the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse for me is things are going from a place where they have been destabilized or that I've been juggling to a place where I'm willing to give. I'm willing to give, but only if I'm going to get reciprocal energy. So I feel like you really are willing to have a conversation, a very honest, truthful, and sharp conversation with someone here. And it feels like you're willing to give them reciprocal energy, but they also have to be flexible in their mind in order to be able to carry on a conversation with you about it. Otherwise, we're in the Ten of Swords. And that's that. So a judgment is here. It feels like you are going to go back around and try again, try another cycle, or you're going to be reborn into a new cycle. And that depends on whether you bring this up and how the conversation goes. It'll be different for all of you. But I feel like there is something that needs to be said. And it can't be said in fire. I'm just going to say it might take you to a new path. The Six of Swords is in the reverse, or for some of you, it could leave you stuck in the mud, right where you are. We've got Virgo and Pisces energy here. We've got Aquarius, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. There could be a little bit of stubborn or stuck energy here, but you are a fixed sign. We've got the Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. I think what you want is harmony with this fire sign here. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Capricorn energy, Pisces, more Aries energy, and Sagittarius. Speaking of Sagittarius, let's find out what's going on with you. How are you, Sag? Fire family, I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days, Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sagittarius. Tell me about Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Page of Wands. You're about to get some communication. It feels like it is, there's a spark with somebody here. It feels like it's going to be exciting. So whether I'm talking about a romantic spark or a platonic spark, it's just going to be an exciting communication. Maybe you've been waiting on it. Let's see here. Tell me more. Yep, you have been waiting on it. That's what it looks like. You've been patient. You've been very patient with somebody here who I think that you're waiting to return a call or communicate with you, or you're waiting for a text or something like that. The Three of Swords. But of course, you're going to spiral out while you're waiting, right? It would be sad if you didn't spiral out once in a while. If you didn't get close to a crash out, right? We've got the Fool. Okay, so this communication that's coming. So I'm going to say, first of all, stop worrying. Because I feel like you've been patient, or you're waiting, and maybe there's time that's gone by where this person has not connected back to you, or you're waiting for the bank to call, or you're waiting for a call from your parents or your sister or your brother or your best friend, or it feels like there's some incoming information you've been waiting on. You've been very patient with the King of Pentacles, waiting for some sort of stable information to come. But as you're waiting, it feels like the Three of Swords is here. The Three of Swords is, I might as well just get used to being disappointed. I might as well just realize this is never going to happen. It feels like that sort of energy. It is going to happen. I feel like it is, and it is going to bring a little bit of excitement, because the Fool is here with the Page of Wands, and the Fool is taking a leap of faith. So somebody is going to take a leap of faith and reach out to you, possibly someone who's been very quiet with you. They've been tongue-tied. It feels like someone doesn't know what to say. They're trying to find the balance to know what to say. And that might be why there is periods of time where we're not really saying anything to each other. Because it feels like somebody is tied to the Seven of Swords. Someone is scared to show you who they really are or bring something to the surface, and they're also a little bit tongue-tied. It feels like they're trying to make a decision and they're unsure about what to say. Oh, they're maybe going to ask somebody out and they're feeling out of balance. You could be dealing with a Libra possibly, or a Scorpio. It feels like someone is feeling out of balance here, but it feels like somebody might be wanting to ask you out, and that might be what the period of silence is going to be about, because someone here feels tongue-tied, and what they don't want to do is look codependent. They don't want to look like they're freaking out, or they have fear, or they don't want to look codependent. But you are going to get this communication in the next 7 days, and I feel like this is someone that I don't think it's a past person. It doesn't feel like it's a past person. It feels like someone that you're currently in communication with. So someone that you've been texting back and forth with possibly. and you're waiting for the communication to come in. Now, if it isn't a person and this has nothing to do with romance, it could be that you're waiting for an answer on something. The answer that's coming in is good news. It's exciting news. So if you're waiting for an answer on the mortgage or the car or the loan or something like that, because the King of Pentacles is here, if you're waiting for finances to become stable based on the communication you get, you're going to get it this week. The King of Cups is here. I think that although you're in this Three of Swords energy here, Sag, you're keeping it under the surface. You're kind of not showing people around you that you just want to jump out of your skin, that you're so excited, waiting for the answer, waiting for the text. But underneath the surface here, I feel like you're trying to keep yourself grounded, but I feel like you're in this, they just don't like me. I'm not the candidate for the job, I guess. They're just not going to hire me. Like, you go through this reel in your head about what you think is happening as opposed to what's really happening. This is what you think is happening. This is what's really happening. The King of Cups is in the room. Somebody here is being quite stoic and is trying to keep their balance emotionally before they answer you. We have the Six of Wands. I feel like they're very attracted to you if this is something about love for you. They're very attracted to you and they want the absolute victory. They don't want you to hesitate. They're going through all the terrible things in their mind that might happen should they decide to reach out to you. We've got the World card. So this hesitation is going to end. The World card is here and someone is about to make a really big shift toward you. And so the really big shift is coming with them ending their hesitation, but also ending their worry that if they show themselves to you, that you are not going to be interested in who they are authentically. So the World card is here and it is slow movement. So I feel like you've been getting really slow movement from someone, but listen, just because they're not answering you back, it doesn't mean that they're not interested. It means they're introspective. And that sometimes is a really good thing. Most times is a really good thing. You don't want someone who is in your back pocket every 5 minutes. That's a love bomber. So I feel like if this is about relationship, let it go where it's going to go, because look where it's going. Look at this. That's where it's going, Sag. So I feel like you could be the person who's ready to reach out, right? Because if you are somebody who has fire in your moon or rising as well as your sun, I feel like you could be the person who's reaching out. And of course, fire is masculine energy, so you could be the masculine, but understand that we're talking about masculine, feminine energies because the King of Pentacles is here. I feel like I can't speak fast enough for you, Sag. I know I talk fast sometimes. When I'm in a channel, I speak quickly. So the Knight of Wands is here, and it does feel like somebody's ready to take a risk in love, is what it looks like. Or the bank is willing to take a risk on you. Look, maybe you're a person who just doesn't have their finances in order. Maybe you're someone who has been struggling to raise your credit score. It feels like somebody's ready to take a chance on you, and it's a brave chance, and it feels like it's a decision or a choice here to open up some sort of a new exciting cycle here. It's very exciting, it's very creative, it's very fun. It feels like if I'm talking about love for you, look at that. It's very passionate. I feel like it's probably another fire sign, or at least another fire sign rising. They could be like maybe a Venus Aries, or they could be maybe they're somebody who is Aries in the rising, possibly. We've got the Three of Pentacles. So this is someone that you've been building a foundation with, Sagittarius. You've been building a foundation here with someone, building a friendship. Let's get to trust each other. Let's get to know each other a little bit. I think that this sort of takes off in a place of passion now. It feels like we've now built the foundation. We are creatively, it feels very creative. I feel like it's a creative energy, and that's why I'm saying Aries, because Aries is quite creative. Libra is quite creative. Taurus is quite creative. Taurus is here. So it feels like somebody is trying to be very creative with the way that they move forward here. They don't just want to I'm seeing somebody holding their phone, and you know that HYD, how you doing? They don't just want to, how you doing, or that's cool, or they're really thinking out their reply. tell me what the outcome is for Sagittarius. We've got the Emperor in the reverse. We've got the Hanged Man in reverse. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. So there it be. Somebody is feeling a little bit out of control. This is out of their depth, or this is something that makes them really nervous, or they're feeling a little bit like out of control about their feelings, or like, I don't know if this person sees me as someone who is stable or not. And listen, to be destabilized as the Emperor means that this person is either really attracted to you, really likes you, really thinks you're the greatest candidate for the job, but it's almost destabilizing for them. We do have the Hanged Man in reverse, which is good news, because the Hanged Man in reverse is the aha moment. It's the realization that, yes, I do want to put the work in on this. So somebody here is no longer holding back. It feels like they have been holding back, but please expect clear, concise energy with them. They are really scared you're going to reject them if they come in too quickly. And so that's why they have been slow, or really thoughtful, really thinking about their reply. And so you might get, an email from the bank saying, those emails can take a little bit of time. Maybe there's terms and conditions they have to explain. Tell me what is around the corner for Sagittarius. We've got the Ten of Wands, we've got the Two of Swords, and the Six of Swords. You are already in the flow, friend. You're already in the flow here. Somebody is about to make a decision. They're unpacking themselves mentally right now, because I feel like they were feeling super chaotic about making this decision. The Six of Swords is about moving from the chaos to the calm. And so I think that things are already in transition. Somebody here was in the Eight Swords, feeling like, thinking it over and over, overthinking it all, and feeling very sort of weighed down that their reply is probably the reply that is either going to bring you running toward them or send you running away. And so it feels like this Six of Swords is somebody who is unpacking the chaos of the mind, and they are ready to take their shot at you. So whatever it is, the job, the person that you've got your eye on, it feels like they could be somebody who is in their head a lot, patient, kind. One more card. Page of Pentacles. Something is about to go down, my friend. It feels like something is about to materialize. They're going to give you a little bit of something, a little bit of energy. You're going to get the text, you're going to get the communication, but it might be something that I would say is not a great big display of emotion, because the earth signs are not that way, but they will be very pointed and very organized in their thought pattern, and they're going to give you a little bit more energy than they usually give you, instead of holding back. And you're going to notice it. I think you're going to notice it, that they're going to be kinder or sweeter. Let's find out what's going on here. We've got Libra energy. We've got Gemini energy, Aries, more Gemini, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. It's taking this person a long time to make their decision, because they know that once they open the door, Six of Wands is here. You're either going to give them a lot of attention, or they're going to carry on. And they know that this is sort of like the precipice of making the decision. So I think that they're very attracted, and this is somebody who probably also has fire energy, and so they don't want to step out of turn. They're feeling a lot of pressure about making a decision to tell you that they want to put their effort in to grow. So we've got Sagittarius energy here. We've got Virgo, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aries energy, more Pisces. We've got Aries, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. There we go. They are detaching from the silence. And it's because they've been trying to make a decision. This is indecision. And they don't want to make the wrong decision, because they really do want to grow with you. Yeah. All right. Let's talk to you, Capricorn. Let's find out what's going on for Cappy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn. What is going on for Capricorn? The next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Capricorn, please. Ooh, okay. Capricorn, this is the week where you finally begin the newest chapter of your life. It feels like this World card is telling me that you're making a major shift. It's taken you a while to get here, but it feels like you are making some sort of major shift. stepping through a portal, bringing something full circle here. Tell me about the world. We've got the Four of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. We've got the Two of Cups at the, or sorry, the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I said Two of Cups because she's holding two. So it feels like, yep, this is the end of a chapter here. And I feel like the only reason that you're able to close this chapter is because you have healed your way to closing this chapter. But now this is where the hard decisions begin, right? It feels like you are coming out of this chapter having learned resilience, I think was the last lesson of the last chapter, being resilient. And whatever that means to you, it could be resilient with your thought patterns. It could be resilience in love. It could be resilience in, learning how to respond rather than react. You might have fire energy in the rising or the moon. But we have the Ten of Wands here. It feels like you're finally dropping some type of burden. And I think that the burden is that I don't think that I think that the challenge for you is communication, that there is a challenge in communication, that sometimes you speak out of turn, or maybe you say things too quickly and then regret them later. It feels like this is maybe the chapter that's coming to an end here, but there is a major shift going on in your life, and it feels like it has made you the Queen of Wands, whether you're the feminine or masculine. And the Queen of Wands has been through a lot of tough things, been through a lot of things that made him or her resilient, and is not taking bullshit from anybody anymore. Like, that's just what it feels like here. The Five of Wands is in the reverse. Very interesting, because you're no longer in indecision. You're feeling very solid. It feels like you're feeling very solid instead of not knowing what to say because I'm scared I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. It feels like the Five of Wands being in the reverse is no, I'm not going to have regrets anymore. I'm not going to be sad about the way that I say things. The Seven of Cups is here, and it feels like sometimes you get confused or overwhelmed with your emotions, and that's sometimes why you feel a little bit off balance. Justice card is in the reverse, and so Justice card in the reverse is no balance. It feels like things are not in harmony, and I think it's because you're a very emotional type person, and it feels like sometimes your emotions can overtake you. But with the Five of Wands in the reverse, it does feel like you are deciding that it's time to be unapologetic with the decisions that I make. No more hesitation. No more fighting myself. No more fighting my emotions. I'm just going to say it as it is. And you know what? It's a choice to be offended. So if you say something and the other person takes offense, they have a choice as to whether they want to be offended by your words or not. You just need to live authentically, and you will learn. You will figure out, should I have said it that way? Maybe I'll try it a different way next time. You'll learn, and so will they. We have the Six of Swords, we have the Eight of Cups, and we have the King of Swords. So there's, I think that you've learned a few things coming out of this chapter that you're closing here, and you are moving along. And I feel like you are finally detaching from some sort of chaotic thought process. It's almost like you were too careful. I feel like you now are sort of like the Eight of Cups is here, like, you know what, I'm just going to detach from it. I don't really care. I can't be thinking and overthinking every freaking word that comes out of my mouth. I think that it's just a matter of education. And when we have more education, when we are emotionally intelligent, when we are have more education, using bigger words, using more words, it feels like we can explain ourselves a little better. I'm talking about the King of Swords. I'm talking about things that are possibly very cut and dry. And maybe you used your emotions, the overwhelming emotions, to sort of explain your way around it, and then you trip over your words. And so it feels like now you're becoming very cut and dry. Do you want to go out tonight? No. And you don't give them an explanation as to why. Like, it feels like you're just being honest and truthful now, instead of trying to cover it up with the Seven of Cups, because that never worked for you anyway. We've got the Ten of Cups. It's going to make you emotionally happier. It's going to make you mentally happier. It's like it's going to give you the apex of happiness just by being authentic and totally yourself. Look, Aquarius always gets the bad rap because they're the one thinking outside the box. They let the freak flag fly. Aquarius is one for just saying it straight, and I feel like Aquarius gets a bad rap because if we had more honest people in this world, not rude, but honest, if we had more people who are honest and speaking their authenticity, things would be a lot easier. Tell me about the outcome here. We've got the Lovers, we've got the Ten of Swords, and we've got the Page of Wands. So it does feel like there is some type of relationship that came to an end, or that there was a betrayal in some sort of a relationship, but I think it might have been through words. And I think it was because somebody tripped over their words, if I'm being honest. So the Ten of Swords ensued, and it feels like it felt like betrayal. Like, I can't believe you said that to me. But it feels like the Page of Wands is here, and it feels like it's because somebody gets too excited, or like it's swords and fire together. And when we have no filter, then things just sort of shoot out the mouth, and it sounds wrong, or comes to a place where somebody ends up being offended. So I think that right now you are not speaking to someone because of either they offended you or you offended them. But it feels like this Page of Wands tells me you will speak again, but it's just you're just going to have to live your authentic life, be your authentic self, and non-apologetic for the things that you say. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, we've got the Sun, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So things are going to move forward here. I don't think that you have to worry too much about something that's going on here that's going to be permanent damage, because I feel like we are moving on to a new cycle, and the Sun is here. So I feel like somebody is going to realize that whatever you said, you did not say to hurt them. It's like somebody's going over your words, analytical, right? The Knight of Pentacles is here. And I feel like once the Sun comes out and the breakthrough is here, then they're going to realize, look, we're destined to be friends, we're destined to be together. And it feels like the Wheel of Fortune tells me that everything changes. What changes? Death card is here, transformation. So I feel like it really is about, getting people around you to be used to you being authentically you. And that doesn't give you the license to be rude or say mean things. Just that you have to express yourself the way that you express yourself. And the people who don't like it are going to leave. And the people who love it are going to gravitate to you. So just be aware, stay confident, make your decisions as you will, and you will find your way home. You will attract all of the people that you need to attract that are in your supernova, right? When a star when it bursts, right? All the pieces fly all over the universe, right? All over the Milky Way. And then they all vibrate. They all eventually come back together in some respect. And so I think that you're going to attract first you have to repel the wrong people in order to attract the right people. Scorpio, Pisces, Aries, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius. We've got more Leo energy here, Libra. We've got more Sag energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini, Aquarius, and Aries. All right, Aquarius. I was just talking about you in the Capricorn reading. I think you get a bad rap for being honest. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. So look, a lot of people could learn from an Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Emperor. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Wands. It does feel like you're in this place of healing right now. I feel like you're in this, like maybe you're not feeling well. Maybe you're not feeling well. I would say maybe you're mentally exhausted. You could also have some sort of ailment. Maybe you've got a cold, maybe you've got a flu, maybe a stomach flu. But it feels like this time is needed. I think the universe is sort of giving you this downtime to collect yourself, to get your stability and your security back, to feeling secure about being in your Emperor energy. It feels like this Emperor energy here, it feels like you're trying to regain control of your thoughts, regain control of who you give your time, energy, and money to. And I think I keep repeating that to you, actually. But the Eight of Pentacles is here. And as we look at it from a distance, we see 5 pentacles. But as we look up close, we see there's 3 more that are we've got plans to make 3 more. So it tells me here that the reason that you're in the Four of Wands is because there's some lack of energy, lack of, it feels almost like a little bit of burnout, that you're the person who's got everything weighing on you. You take care of everything and everyone, and the money and the bills and building everything. Plus maybe you're going to school or you're learning new things. It feels that this time out is is necessary. Maybe you put yourself in timeout, but we have the Ace of Wands. It is a time for you to recalibrate or to get your energy levels back, because I feel like there's a new cycle that's about to start for you here, and it seems very exciting and creative possibly, but it feels like really it's a leaping off point. It almost feels like full energy where a door is going to be opening and something is going to show up in your wheelhouse here that is quite exciting. Something that you've been building toward, it feels like. Something that you've really been looking over from a distance, and it's finally here. Tell me about the Four of Swords. We've got the Page of Wands, we've got the Two of Wands, and the Strength card. Yeah, it feels like you're actually holding back from communicating. You're really not talking to people. I don't care who the people are. Could be your significant other, could be people at work. It feels like you're keeping to yourself. It feels like you're very thoughtful right now. And you're trying to regain some sort of, you're trying to establish your boundaries or establish your dominance. It feels like, it's like, you know, people started to treat me as though they could get around me, and I feel like I've got to recalibrate myself. Like that's what it feels like. So the Page of Wands is here. So you stop giving energy to people. You stop texting. You stop answering texts. And I feel like it's because you're in this place of the Two of Wands. It's like, you know, something has to change. You've got to change something, or you're just going to spiral out into this burnout again. You know, the Emperor is a lot of, you know, it's all the kings, right? Full of wisdom, but also is the King of Pentacles, who is an overgiver financially, emotionally. Somebody who is the King of Cups, who really is always trying to keep it under the surface and keep their stability in a storm. So no matter what's going on, not showing people on the surface that it bothers you. It feels like you've been holding back from people because you've been triggered by what people have said, what people have done. I feel like this Four of Swords is necessary time for you to regain your courage to make some sort of a decision. It feels like you need to take action on something, and it feels like this action is going to be the Ace of Wands, but I feel like you're really thinking it over because you're an overthinker. We've got the Four of Cups, we've got the Six of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Wands. So I think that you want to give reciprocal energy, or give some energy to something that you're hoping to get paid back by. It could be a business deal. It could be you're wanting to put money in, and you want to make sure that you're going to get your return on your investment. It feels like you're hoping that they're not going to reject you, and that it's going to be the right thing to do. So it's going to be emotionally good for you, that there's going to be, you know, you can get into business with somebody who doesn't have your work ethic. And I mean, you've got a great work ethic. You're showing up here as the Emperor. You're not only smart, but you're also talented, and you keep, you know, you're the person who carries everything. So maybe someone wants to invest in your business. It feels like what you don't want is the Nine of Wands. It feels like you've been through this before, that you end up putting in more than you're getting back. And so I feel like you're wondering, should I reject the offer or should I not? I'm not really sure. Knight of Wands is here. I think that you do want to take a risk and do this, but first you're going to have to drop, like the Nine of Wands with the Ace of Wands with the Knight here, you're going to have to drop this feeling of, am I doing the right thing? Because I feel like you are thinking of rejecting somebody's offer. I think somebody's giving and giving to you and you haven't yet given back, whether that's money, time, energy, or a relationship. And now you're thinking, well, maybe it's time for me to drop my wall or drop my shield, and time for me to jump into something here. Now, if this is love, I'm going to say just be careful. Remember the Nine of Wands, because you have a habit, Aquarius, of jumping in. And even though, I mean, you could have fire energy, you don't have to. It's just an Aquarius thing where you make, after you think about it for so long, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm just going to jump in. So it feels like you might be jumping into something that possibly is, that you're worried you're going to get hurt or get taken, because you're very giving. You're very over-giving, right? So it's easy to be taken advantage of. I think there's somebody you're attracted to or you have passion with, and just be careful of the Knight of Wands. It's not a lot of stability. You might just be having a replay of this Nine of Wands. You might just add to your trauma, so just be careful. Could be a thirst trap of some sort. The outcome, we do have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Seven of Cups. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like something is about to change here. And I think what's changing is you're approaching emotional things in a more stable way. So as I was saying, so maybe I thought here that maybe you'd be jumping in head first. you could be taking a risk, but I think you're approaching it in a far more stable way than you would have in the past, because it feels like you're overly emotional, or something here is not quite clear. But I think that the Wheel of Fortune being here changes all of that. It feels like all of a sudden you realize it's destiny, or you feel like it's destiny, or you must move forward into this new cycle. It does feel like it is a new cycle, and you already are in your Emperor energy. So I feel like you are feeling better. Now, this is taking care of your health, time, energy, money, your home. This could be where you weren't able to do all of that. So I feel like the outcome, you're feeling better. Tell me what is coming around in the around the corner here. Page of Coins. Oh, there it is. And the Fool and the Queen of Swords. So I feel like, yeah, a lot of conversation is going to be needed before you jump in. Maybe maybe this is a business deal. Maybe it is someone that you're really enamored with, someone that you are very excited about, very attracted to. And I think there's going to have to be a lot of honest conversation about what expectations are. And, you know, not all of that is talked about at the very beginning, but you have to really let this person know in uncertain terms what your expectations are, if they expect you to jump in or just leap in and take a leap of faith, hoping to build for the future here. So I think you're about to make a bold move, friend, and I feel like you've already built some sort of foundation with someone here, and you're hopeful that this is going to turn into romance. In fact, it probably is. If you want it, I think that it probably will. Right. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. More Sag. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Aries, Leo. More Aries, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, more Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Something's about to expand for you. And I think it may be something for some of you in love. All right, Pisces. Water family, two fishes friends. Let's find out what's going on for you for the next 7 days. Tell me about Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about my water family. Tell me what's coming up. Sneak peek for this week, next 7 days for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Seven of Swords. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Temperance is in the reverse. It feels like something is in a little bit of a stall, if I'm being honest. It feels like something is stalled, but it's under the surface. It feels like somebody here is trying to find the confidence to push things forward here. Temperance in the reverse to me is a no. I feel like that they really do want to leave the crossroads, but I don't think it's expedient to do that right now. Somebody is maybe not being quite honest with you about what they truly want to put the effort into. Do they really want to put the effort in? So the Eight of Pentacles, first of all, you're looking really great here. It feels to me like you are quite confident, quite stable, and that might be why someone is hesitating or holding back. Look, you're not too much. You are somebody who has raised your standards, raised your financial bracket possibly, someone who maybe has built a reputation, built a life, built a business, and I feel like you work really hard for what you have. It feels like this Seven of Swords tells me that you're just not going to give it away like easily. Somebody here really has to come correct, or you're not in. Like, if the answer is going to be no. Tell me why the Seven of Swords is here. We've got the Nine of Swords, we've got the Page of Pentacles, and we have the Emperor. So this is pre-Empress energy, and now we have the Emperor. It does feel like somebody here is nervous or worried that if they present you with an offer, that you are maybe out of their league, or that maybe there is no vibrational mesh. There is no vibrational balance here. It feels like somebody is worried that you will say no because they don't have much to offer, or they're only offering a little bit. Maybe they have a lot to offer. Look, maybe they have a lot to offer. Maybe they're the Emperor and they're only willing to offer a little bit because they see the potential in you. They see that you are independent, you do your own thing, like they the Emperor doesn't need anyone that's codependent hanging on them, expecting them to buy them things, take them to dinner, make them give them morning and the evening text. They need somebody who's independent, somebody who's not going to be hanging on them codependently all the time. So I feel like you fit the bill, that you are somebody who's not codependent. And look, the Emperor can be feminine or masculine. Masculine leaning energy, though, that's the leader. So masculine leaning energy, whether it's a woman or a man. But we have the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like the Emperor is about to offer something that is very small, but I think that the worry is that they don't really know you that well, and that they see what they see on the outside, but are you really who you appear to them to be? I think you are, because I can see the cards, but the Emperor is unsure. And look, the Emperor will never go in if they're unsure. There's no hesitancy. The Emperor must be sure. The Emperor has a lot to lose. So I feel like that somebody here is unsure. It's not that they don't trust you. That's not what I'm getting from the Seven of Swords. What I'm getting is there's some things under the surface that I need to get to know first. All I see what is on the surface. And what I see on the surface is someone who's beautiful or handsome, someone who has a great reputation among their friends and family, someone who works really hard on themselves, but they still could say no, because this person doesn't know you very well. So we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. So what they want to be sure of is that there is going to be some sort of a foundation, stability, somebody is willing to work with them, because I think that the Emperor has a really busy life. So the Two of Pentacles is here, and honestly, that's why the Emperor is single a lot, because the Emperor has a lot to do. They carry everything. Right? Children, house, home, businesses, they carry a lot of things with them. So it feels like this person is very busy, and they're wondering, can you keep solid ground with them in all of that confusion? Are you willing to be the person who is the Queen of Pentacles, the one who is willing to be patient and who is willing to move slowly? Because I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's very busy in their life and is very connected to their family or children. Got a child right next door here. We've got the Nine of Cups. It really does feel like there is this person needs to know that you are happy within yourself without using them to make you happy. And so I think that the Emperor, because they come with a lot of status, they are a person of influence. They need to know that you are a person who is solid on your own, happy within yourself, and they don't know that about you just yet, because the Seven of Cups is here. All they know is that they are very busy, you're very busy, and we haven't really had a chance to touch on that yet. So there is a little bit of a worry about giving an offer, because they don't really know you 100% yet. And so I think we're in the getting to know you stage here. And they just want to make sure that you are in your, at least in your queened energy, so there isn't this vibrational difference of a page and an emperor. At least if it's a queen and an emperor, then we understand each other a little bit. Outcome here is the Death card. We've got the Four of Wands, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So while I think this person is going to hold off with their big offer, I think that they're going to give you a little offer, which means this, I feel like they want to take you out, want to get to know you more. Maybe they want to get to know you amongst their friends, or invite you to get to know their friends, or maybe you'll invite them to get to know your friends. It feels like before they make this big offer, which I don't think that they're ready to make just yet, it feels like they want to get some stability. They want to transition slowly into a stable, emotionally safe place with you, and an exciting place with you. Get stability and having fun and being childlike, and all of those things before they make the big offer. Right now it's just a little offer. What's around the corner here for Pisces? We've got the Ten of Swords. We've got the Four of Pentacles, and we've got the Chariot. It's because this person's been terribly hurt before. They've been betrayed in this way before, and that's why they hold back. So you might be dealing with someone who is holding back, or maybe not moving as quickly as you want. And if you want them to move quicker than they are, then maybe that's something you need to check within you, Pisces, because somebody who's moving slow toward you is the person that you want. The person you don't want is the one who's just going to be on your tail every 5 minutes, because that's the love bomber. So whether you're feminine or masculine, that's my advice to you. This old lady has figured it out up to here, finally. Year 57, level 57 of the game, and I finally got it down. Anyways, so the Chariot here, it feels like this is all going to move forward. But right now this person is holding back because they're trying to figure out, are you going to like reject them outright? Is this not the moment of alchemy? Is it not the right person? They're trying to figure out, can they show their authentic self to you? They're not being as vulnerable as you want them to be, but there's a reason for that. It feels like things are about to take off and move quicker, but first there has to be decisions. This person is making big decisions. I think you both are in the Nine of Pentacles. I think that you're a good match. It feels like you are, but the Magician is here. The Strength card is here, and they're holding back, trying to figure out what is their next move, because they have all the aces. This person is magic. They have all the aces. They're about to make a bold move here. Could be Sagittarius energy involved, but they are about to make a bold move, but they don't know which way. Should they use the Ace of Cups right away? Should they, because all the aces are up the sleeves of the Magician. Should I use the Ace of Swords? Should we just talk? Should I use the Ace of Pentacles? Should I just like say, okay, let's plant this pentacle and get to know each other slowly? That's what the Emperor is trying to figure out what they're going to do. So the High Priestess is right now, there might be silence and holding back, and I don't think you're comfortable with that, but I would say get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There is a place in all of that uncomfortability, a place for you to learn some lessons about holding back, and sometimes holding back is a good thing. So we have a lot of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. First of all, we've got Cancer energy. I feel like somebody's been keeping their feelings under the surface with that Cancer energy because they're still confused about what you mean to them, or should we, is this forever or is this just for now? Because the Emperor's not getting into something that's just for now. They're not just dating here, there, and everywhere. They're looking for the last one. So we've got Aries energy. We've got lots of Earth energy. Somebody here is making real-time decisions. We've got Scorpio, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and the Magician, who is Gemini, and Aries. All right, somebody's going to make a move. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for being here. If you made it all the way up to here, thank you, Pisces, for all the ways you love me. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. You guys take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.